we are now going to see not only this couple forcefully broken up by the Russian government, but this person's life completely uprooted and sent back to China. I want to talk to you guys about this story, which is honestly a tearjerker. This is really, really upsetting. So there was a gay couple in Russia, which is made up of a Russian man and a Chinese man, two homosexuals who, you know, are gay. Homosexuals are gay. News story of the day, breaking news. The homos are gay. Whoa. They decided that they were going to post themselves on the internet. And so this is the images that they posted on the internet. They posted this on TikTok. And this is quite literally just, hey, here is my Chinese boyfriend. That is what this video is. It's, here I am, I'm Russian, and he's Chinese, and we make it work. That's basically it. That's what the video is. That's it. That's it. Okay? There's no twist here where he's like going out saying, you know, we need to trans all the kids and like pump them full of HRT. He's just publicly gay and happy. So what this resulted in is both him and his boyfriend getting arrested for pushing gay propaganda on the people of Russia by looking happy while gay online. Because by them looking happy online as while being a gay couple, that could convince people that it's a okay lifestyle because they're happy, and therefore it's gay propaganda. Let's read the article. Oh my God, this article makes my blood boil. A pair of popular Russian-based LGBT bloggers have been arrested in Russia on charges of violating the country's law outlawing gay propaganda, the lawyer said Wednesday. Kayon Si, a Chinese citizen, and Gila, oh my God, Gashvili, an ethnically Georgian citizen of Russia, documented their life as an openly gay, interracial, non-Slavic couple living. Oh man, these are all of the things the Russian government does not like. Living in Russia on their popular social media channel, including on TikTok, YouTube, and Telegram. The two men are accused of violating the law that prohibits propaganda of LGBT relationships with a video on their YouTube channel. They're now facing a fine of up to 50,000 rubles, $628, or arrest, while Soy also faces deportation from Russia. The couple's lawyer, Adel Korish, I'm just going to say Adel, told the Telegram news channel, Soda. Police detained Soy on Wednesday at a Burger King restaurant in Kazan after he failed to present his passport and registration documents during a document check. Soy asked his partner to bring his documents to the restaurant, but both men were arrested as soon as he arrived. The couple, who met in Moscow and have been living in the Republic of Tatarstan's capital, Kazan, since 2021, were targeted by St. Petersburg-based anti-LGBT activist Timur Butlov in March and have since faced death threats and harassment. One of Soy's professors at Kazan University had also threatened to report him to the police for violating Russia's anti-LGBT law, according to an interview with the couple published by the US-funded Radio Free Europe Radio Liberty outlet last month. Russia expanded its controversial law against so-called gay propaganda late last year to outlaw virtually all public expression and depictions of LGBT relationships and lifestyle. So, when I first covered the expansion of the anti-gay law, I think some people kind of reacted to it with like, that sounds pretty bad, but they're not going to actually go out and arrest people just for like showing themselves as gay. And for those of you who don't know, Russia for a while had this anti-gay law that they introduced, which was, hey, if you are gay, you cannot show anything depicting gay media, queerness, anything at all to children. That is illegal, right? That's bad. I don't like that because it isolates queers from the rest of society. It's like, hey, you can't, the gays aren't allowed near the children. It's kind of playing into that old pedophile kind of like stereotype that has led to a lot of hatred directed at gay people. Pretty bad already. But then they expanded it recently, a few months ago during the war, to include any positive depictions of LGBT people. What that means is that you can only legally display gay people in a negative light. The only time you can display gay people in Russia is if you display them as AIDS-ridden, degenerate, horrible people. That's the only way you can display gay people in Russia online, because that's the only way it's not considered LGBT propaganda. Now, I would call that homophobic propaganda, but there's no laws in Russia outlawing homophobic propaganda, because hate crimes and lynching of gays in Russia, they don't care. But, you know, arresting the gays, that's their priority. So that law seems like an immense infringement on their freedom of expression. And it was kind of hard to imagine, like, how would this even work? Like, any positive depictions of gays? Does that mean like going online and saying being gay is great and fantastic? That gets you arrested? Or can it be just something as simple as publicly showing you're gay that can get you arrested? And apparently we've gotten our answer. If you're happy and you're gay, and you let others know that you're happy and you're gay, then you can get arrested. That's it. They got arrested for being happy and gay. They got arrested for being happy with themselves and loving each other. That's it. This is what Russia is concerning itself with. Now, let's think about all the other laws that they could have passed.
CEDFRA has donated $5. Zero.
Zedfra, thank you so much for the $5. Don't know what your zero message is about, but I really appreciate the $5. You know what Russia could be doing? It could be trying to tackle what is astronomically high amounts of income inequality. It is terribly unequal society when it comes to income. They could be dealing with the high rates of fetal alcohol syndrome in Russia. They could be dealing with the deadly rates of alcoholism in their country, where hundreds of thousands of people are dying every year in Russia due to overconsumption of alcohol when their country is going through a demographic crisis. Unironically, I've crunched the numbers on this. If every single person in Russia who died from alcohol consumption, died from being alcoholic, was to not die, Russia would actually no longer be net negative for its demographics. If they were to eliminate all of its alcohol-related deaths, they would no longer be losing people every year demographically. That's how bad their alcohol consumption problem is in their country. Like they are murdering their livers on a systematic industrial scale. We could deal with the infrastructure problems. That's something they could invest in and deal with. Try to deal with the infrastructure problems in Russia, where a lot of homes in Russia still don't have an inside toilet. A lot of communities in Russia, the roads are in dilapidated conditions, only last time being repaired during the Soviet Union. They could deal with the lack of freedom when it comes to freedom of expression, freedom when it comes to journalistic coverage, when it comes to independent journalism. They could deal with having a more proper and respectable court system that won't just arrest you for, you know, criticizing the government, and having sham trials. There's a million different things Russia could tackle to deal with its problems. It could try to deal with the drug problem that they have. You know, crocodile, the drug that's like heroin, the cheaper version of heroin that makes your skin turn into like alligator skin, like scaly and literally rots your skin away. That originated in Russia. They could deal with the problem with their airplanes in the country right now, where a lot of the airplanes are grounded because they can't import foreign parts. And so they have like 40% of the airplanes grounded. They're taking parts out of some planes, putting it on others. They could deal with their railway system, which is just getting dilapidated more and more by the day, especially since they can't import foreign parts. They could maybe deal with the fact that the ruble is starting to crumble before their eyes, even with the artificial controls implemented by the state. Oh my God. There is endless amounts of problems. They could do more environmental protections, because a lot of damage was done to the environment of Russia by the Soviet Union and is now being done by the Russian government. That's something they could do. They could try to protect their environment better. There's a million different issues they could deal with, that Russia could deal with, that are pertinent political issues. They could deal with the horrifically high levels of corruption in Russia. horrifically high rates of corruption. They could try to deal with the oligarchs. They could try to deal with the autocracy. They could try to deal with the violent crime. They could try to deal with the price increases for basic goods related to the war. They could try to end the war, which is killing tons and tons and tons of their young people, of their young men and women. At the same time, again, they're going through a demographic crisis and then taking the few young people they do have and making them either flee the country because they don't want to get conscripted, flee the country because all the businesses are leaving because of sanctions. That's another thing they have to deal with, or get sent into Ukraine to get maimed and lose their legs or get killed. There's a million. They could try to increase pensions for the elderly. There's so many issues in Russia they could be dealing with, but instead, they need a scapegoat. They need to distract people. They need an enemy to keep the people united. And that enemy is the homosexuals. And it's not even just an enemy like, oh, they're degenerate in some way and we don't like that. They are a physical, violent enemy to the Russians. You can hear how they talk about Ukraine and the Ukrainian government. They'll often, definitely if you look at some of the Chechen commanders, they'll talk about the shaitans in Kiev, the shaitan in Washington, how they're going to try to push transgenderism on their kids, how they're going to try to push homosexuality on the kids, that if they lose the war in Ukraine, their kids are going to be gay. Those are speeches that commanders in the Russian army have made publicly and have been recorded and posted online, that they're not ashamed to see posted online and viewed by the world. So not only are the gays a domestic threat, they're a foreign threat. It's a foreign menace, foreign degeneracy being pushed upon Russia by the West in order to weaken its men. That's how it's portrayed. And that's how they justify these draconian and horrific treatment of the gay community. Now, if you guys want this story to have a happy ending, a fairy tale ending where these two people get to love each other and live with each other for all time and they get left alone, I'm very sorry to tell you that is not the case. They are going to deport the Chinese LGBT blogger for being gay online. This guy is going to get deported for smiling while gay on TikTok. He is getting deported for showing queer joy. That's it. He didn't tell people to be gay. He didn't tell people to be trans. He didn't join with Ukrainian military or say, I can't wait for America to win the war. Da, da, da. Just simply was happy and gay. All it was. A Russian court has arrested a Chinese blogger for 7 days and ruled to have him deported from the country 1 day after he was detained on a charge of distributing LGBT propaganda, the independent rights monitor OVD Info reported Thursday. They were accused by a Kazan court of publishing videos where they touch each other on different parts of their bodies, including sexual organs. The court also said that Zhu promoted sex changes among minors. The blogger's lawyer disputed these claims, arguing that they warn audiences that their blog contains adult material with an 18+ disclaimer. On Wednesday, police arrested the couple after allegedly receiving complaints over videos published on social media channels where they document their life as an openly gay, interracial, non-Slavic couple living in Russia. They were released from Gashvili was released from custody the same day, but was required to attend Thursday's court hearing. The couple, who met in Moscow and have been living in the Republic of Tatarstan's capital, Kazan, since 2021, were targeted by St. Petersburg-based anti-LGBT activist Timur Badlov. We already read that. Anyway, we are now going to see not only this couple forcefully broken up by the Russian government, but this person's life completely uprooted and sent back to China, another country that isn't as friendly to LGBT-friendly people, but still much better than Russia. And I mean, that's a low bar, but China's much better on LGBT issues. And I don't mean like gay marriage and they're also accepting, but they won't at least like arrest you for being gay online, right? Even if they're trying to ban like feminine men on the internet and stuff like that, they at least won't arrest you for being openly gay on the internet. But this person's life is being completely uprooted. He's being deported from his country. He's being separated from the person he loves. All because he decided to be openly gay on the internet. That is the reality of Russia's gay propaganda laws. And as this is happening here, gays in Chechnya are being tortured, beaten, with metal pipes, electrocuted, and executed extrajudicially in Chechnya, while Kadyrov denies there's even gays in the country. Why do you need to introduce a gay propaganda law if there's no gays in Chechnya and there's no gays in Russia? Just something to consider on Razman Kadyrov's statements that there's no gays, so there's no human rights abuse. What we have in Russia is a complete degradation of gay rights. What we see in Russia is a situation that is becoming worse than basically the entirety of the developed world, and they're getting closer and closer to like Saudi Arabia. They're getting closer and closer to like Uganda, which is like, it's illegal to be gay in Uganda. You just can't be gay. They're getting closer and closer to some of the worst countries when it comes to LGBTQ plus people, and they're going out of their way to do it. They're going out of their way to destroy this person's life for just being openly happy and queer at the same time. I hope that both of these people get out of their country. I was actually talking to another person, a friend of mine that I was meeting up with yesterday when we were celebrating Passover together during a Seder dinner, and he was a Russian who left Russia as a gay man, in large part because he was gay, and I could never imagine having to leave my state and my community and my country because of the people I love. And it is such a fucked up thing, man. It really gets my blood boiling.